For the real lowdown, let's welcome our guest, Ohio Senator, former OMB Director, Rob Portman. Mr. Portman, good to see you, sir.
Larry, thanks for having me on.
I hope I haven't done the truth any harm in my opening.
I thought you were right on, Larry.
Thank you, sir. I do like a punch here and there, but let's start with this whole debt ceiling. Here's what I love about the debt ceiling. They didn't want to put a number on it, like raising it from 28 trillion to whatever. They just want to suspend it, and suspend it like right through next year's elections. So they don't want to own the spending or anything else, or the taxing, and they don't want to own the debt, which is of their making. So how's this going to play out? Because Mitch McConnell says no way if it's tied to a CR, continuing res. What can you tell us, sir?
Well, the Democrats are going to offer a continuing resolution to keep government from shutting down on September 30th, and they're going to add to that this debt limit. Now, as you have said, the spending this year has been astronomical already. Remember, $1.9 trillion in March, much of which had nothing to do with COVID. Now there's a proposal for another $3.5 trillion, which some would say is more than that over the 10-year period, to be realistic. The point is, that's why the debt limit needs to go up. That's the substantially, reason why. So our approach is very simple. One, if you guys need to raise the debt limit because of all your spending that you don't have a single Republican supporting and you haven't asked for our input on, go for it. You're allowed to do that. You can do that under what's called reconciliation. You can do it without a single Republican vote. But we're not going to be party to it because we're not part of the tax increases. I will also say that we believe as Republicans that when you raise the debt limit, you ought to have some spending reforms as part of it. You mentioned $28 trillion. We're approaching a $30 trillion debt now. So if the debt limit has to be raised, which it will have to be at some point, we acknowledge that. You know that, Larry. It should be accompanied by something that reduces the spending, gets spending under control. And by the way, that's the only way we've been able to do that over the years, going all the way back to Gramm-Rudman, which you will remember, but also more recently the sequester and caps on spending. So I think that's a much better way to do it. Finally, I will say to your investors out there and to those concerned about what would happen if you went over the debt limit, we are not at that point. In other words, September 30th doesn't coincide with the end of the debt limit as it currently stands. It'll be sometime in October, we're being told, probably the end of October. That's from the Secretary of the Treasury. So there is not also a great rush on this, which gives us time to try to get some of these reforms in place as compared to simply raising the debt limit again with getting nothing that would help to deal with the fiscal crisis we're facing.
So the CR, the so-called CR, continuing resolution, and I can't resist it. I just keep putting this in because it annoys me so much that these far-left progressives, some people now call them the Hamas caucus of the Democratic Party, taking out $1 billion for Israel's Iron Dome is just the worst thing I've ever heard. The stupidest thing, but the worst thing. I mean, it's a great American ally. It's for defensive purposes. I mean, this Democratic Party, I'm off target a little bit, Rob, but I want to put this in. Is the Democratic Party deserting Israel? Is that what's happened here?
Well, you're beginning to see what happened, I think, back in the 90s, which you see more and more Democrats, taking an opposite position to Israel. I will say that with regard to the Republican alternative, we will offer a continuing resolution to keep government from shutting down. It's the same spending from last year. We realize that is something we should do. We will also offer the funding for the Iron Dome as part of our continuing resolution. We'll also offer the funding that's needed right now for the disaster relief, particularly the hurricanes that have hit the south and southeast part of our country. So that will be in our alternative. What won't be in the alternative will be the debt limit increase. It's not timely. It's not the right thing to do in this context. And it's something the Democrats have brought on, so they should be the ones to raise it. So, but we will deal with the Iron Dome because you're right. It's really important we do that. And by the way, this is U.S. technology and Israeli technology working together to create the possibility to be able to protect Israel from attacks from missiles, particularly from Gaza Strip.
I got a couple more things, Senator. I mean, I don't know what you're thinking, but to me, when I listen to Senator Manchin, now I know he sometimes changes his mind, and he's entitled to, we all do. But when he says we should pause this $5 trillion, I think, plus reconciliation bill with all of its reckless spending and, frankly, all of its reckless tax increases. We're going to have Art Laffer and Steve Moore on later in the show. When he says pause it till next year, not only am I for that, but I say if you pause it to next year, you'll pause it forever. You'll kill the thing. And I got to tell you, I'm a peaceful kind of guy, but I'd love to kill this bill because I think this bill is bad for America. It's bad for the economy. It's bad for work incentives. It's bad for the soul of the nation. I don't want to transform the country. So I'm kind of rooting for Manchin on this. What are you thinking?
Well, delay is a whole lot better than passing it because it would be terrible for our economy. And you're right, there is an issue here as to the very culture of America, our work ethic. It's also about the American people because remember, you and I've talked about this a lot, the increases they're talking about in taxes do fall on American families. And by the way, a lot of families making less than $400,000 a year. Since we talked last time, Larry, new information from the Joint Committee on Taxation, which says that 66% of the tax increase on corporations, as they call it, is going to fall on those in the lower and middle income category. That's up to $500,000. That's about 169 million Americans, the vast majority of whom will be in that under 400,000 category. So much for the pledge that we're not going to affect anybody making less than 400,000 bucks a year. So this is really bad for the economy. The social spending, the work disincentive part is there, but also the tax part is really going to hurt working families. So yeah, it's really a bad bill for our country right now. Finally, Senator Manchin's right about inflation. You know, we're looking at 5.3, 5.4% inflation right now. And by raising taxes, you're raising inflation. Think about it.
Right.
You're putting taxes on companies. We're going to pass that along. And certainly the stimulus spending is going to do just what the $1.9 trillion did, which is to raise inflation. So what he is saying is, let's see where we are. He says April. Let's see where we are next year and see where inflation is and where jobs are. We also have a real jobs issue in our country right now. We have about 8 million people who are unemployed, and yet we have about 11 million jobs open. So how do we deal with that issue? Certainly it isn't by taxing people more. It's just the opposite. It's encouraging people to go back to work. It's not the spending programs they're talking about, part of which are a disincentive to work. And it's encouraging us to do the things to have long-term economic growth that you and I have talked about a lot. So I agree. It's really bad policy.
No, Senator, we need a $5 trillion basic universal income with no work requirements, no education requirements. That'll do it, right? No, wrong. I'm being sarcastic. Can I ask you one more thing, Senator? On the infrastructure bill, I know you worked hard for it, and as I've said, there's a lot of good in that bill, and there's stuff that's not so good in that bill. But I just want to ask you, looking at this border catastrophe, wouldn't it have been better to build infrastructure on the wall instead of, you know, what the local authorities have done is they've lined up automobiles as a barrier? Wouldn't it have been better to just finish the wall, sir?
Well, yeah, we have the ability to finish the wall. It's authorized to be finished. The Biden administration stopped it, so that's already, the money's there. By the way, the money's being spent anyway. Literally, contractors are being paid for not doing the work to finish the wall, including, by the way, the technology along the wall, which most Democrats used to say they were for. Also, the infrastructure bill does have money for the border, as you know. It's got money for the ports of entry, which is one of our big problems right now, particularly with regard to fentanyl and other dangerous drugs coming across. We need more money invested in the border ports of entry, and that's in the infrastructure bill. But on the wall, you know, Congress authorized it. We have, we have a lawsuit pending, and there's lots of activity on that, trying to figure out how do you close those gaps. I've been down there. I've seen it. Literally, you have the concrete and you have the steel ready to go. The steel really, literally right along the wall. Very bad for the morale of the Border Patrol, and yet you have these gaps periodically. So let's close the gaps. Let's come up with a sensible immigration policy so there's not this big pull factor to bring people over, and let's help our ports of entry, which is in the infrastructure bill.
All right, good for you. Senator Rob Portman, thank you, sir. Appreciate it very,
Thanks,
very
Larry.
much.